Hi, Mark Allen here from Golf Lesson Sheffield. This was a lesson I did recently in our swing studio with a new training aid that I've just acquired called the golfHammer. The reason I used it during this lesson was because my client here was struggling with his iron shots. In particular, he was struggling with heavy shots. So as I scroll this video through, this was a 7-iron he hit probably after 5 or 6 warm-up shots, and this 7-iron went 110 yards, mainly because he caught the ground before. Pete does hit some good, powerful shots, but generally it leads to the club hitting the ground before, and so as a result the ball doesn't go anywhere near as far as it could. So what you notice here is from the lines I've drawn, his hip comes quite a bit away from the original line I drew, which was next to his hip. If I go back to the beginning, you can see it was very close to his hip. His head has also moved away from the other yellow line, and on the downswing he never actually really makes it back to those yellow lines and this is the reason why he catches the ball a bit heavy. As he swings up and through, as a result of hanging back, you can see a little bit of a chicken wing effect on his follow through, and then as he finishes again he never really gets to this yellow line. So the reason I use this golfHammer, which as you can see is basically a golf shaft with a hammer on the end of it, and plus I've also put a nail through a golf ball. So to try to make it less golf related and more task related, and the task a lot simpler. So this task I gave to Pete was, in a golfing posture, how would you hammer that nail down into the ground using that hammer? And I'd angled the nail at sort of like 45 degrees down towards the ground. So with no other instruction other than that, as you can see, as Pete takes the club back now, all of a sudden there's a far less of a gap to his hip from this yellow line and from his head to this other yellow line, which, why would you move your body all the way away from the target, away from the ball, to then hammer a nail down in this angle? It makes far more sense to stay more centered, to then be able to get a descending angle of attack down onto this nail. And then straight away now you can see now he's started to close that gap. He's now right back pretty much where he started. His head is in the similar sort of position, so he's moving now towards the target, the sort of dynamic shift that we'd want in a golf swing. And he's continuing that move forward, so now he's gone quite a bit ahead of this yellow line, and this hammer is now coming down from a descending blow. He's coming down from a high point before the ball to a low just afterwards. He didn't actually hit the nail, obviously, because we could do a bit of damage on the matting, but you can see there everything is now forward, and as a result he's got far less of a chicken wing. His left hip has driven a long way forward, and that is going to create some better, more consistent strikes. But I would also let you know that 5 or 6 shots after doing this, he hit a 7-iron that went 142 yards, if I remember correctly. So by changing the task, by making it non-golf related and making the task a lot simpler, it's amazing what differences we can make.